Welcome. It's currently full moon just past the spring equinox, and I happen to live in northwestern Ontario. You can hear in the background there's a lovely woodpecker who loves to stay in this area, and so you might hear him, once in a while through the video. And you can see there's still snow on the ground. If you're watching this at a different time of year, well, enjoy seeing the lovely snow. And you might see some of the snow that's falling in front of the camera as well. I wanted to be able to introduce you to the Path of Sacred Handwork by doing an outdoor video to start with as an introduction, because it gives you an indication that we will be working both indoors and outdoors if you're doing the full program. And if you're doing select courses from the program, there will sometimes be outdoor components to them. So you can, allow yourself to be um, dressed accordingly for whatever part that you might be partaking in. The first 3 courses can be done individually, and those include the Ancestral Recognition Path of Sacred Handwork as the first course. The second course is called Writing from the Bones, and the third course is called Art of the Land. You can do those independently from one another, though I do recommend that you do them in that order if you're going to be taking the full program. And those 3 courses comprise cycle 1. The whole program, is taught in 3 cycles. Cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3, with a month break in between. That then brings us for a full year cycle, or what I call a solar year cycle. And each individual course is designed to be done as done over the length of one lunation, which is basically from new moon to new moon, or whenever you get started, one full lunar cycle. But it can also be done at your own pace. If it takes you 3 lunar cycles to get through one course, go for it. There's no have-tos around it. It's just simply a recommended pathway based on doing everything within 1 year. So what is the Path of Sacred Handwork? The Path of Sacred Handwork is an art-based, land-based process, and it's intended for individuals to do a deep dive into their own ancestral and or cultural awareness. It's not meant to make you a master crafter. What I'm doing is I'm utilizing my own ancestral and cultural handcrafts as a template, adapting them as a template for you to be able to explore that in your own life. And we begin with a starting point, which is a pathway that you can begin to walk through one cycle with me, one full program cycle with me, while you do your own investigations into your own cultural and or ancestral backgrounds and handcrafts of those traditions. And as you do that investigative work, you will probably find that you're going to be branching out more and more from what it is that we're using as the template to incorporate more and more of your own practices. My path is not the right path. It's just a path that I've walked. And so, kind of like trudging through the snow, one person starts to walk a path through the snow and make some footsteps that other people can then begin to walk. But then you might find yourself wanting to go off in another direction, so you'll begin to forge your own path, having walked a few steps in the path that's already there. That's kind of the idea behind the work that we would be doing together in this program. I offer the program both in person and in an e-course format. The e-course format is obviously going to be most accessible for people who aren't living where I live. And therefore, that's why I opened it up as an e-course format. Because I know a lot of folk from a lot of different areas across Canada, US, Mexico, and elsewhere. And it's just really nice to be able to interact with people in a broader way than just where I live. Having said that, if you're really interested in the program being where you are, you can always contact me and let me know, and we can work out a way that that might be possible. In terms of what you're going to encounter, each course has both a written format, which is a PDF that you download, and has video links inside it. Those video links are only accessible to the people who have signed up for the course. And so you'll be guided both in written word as well as through me speaking and also doing demonstrations of what we're practicing. You're also going to have journaling, which I call reflection questions, and you will have homework. I love homework. You won't be marked on your homework, but I do encourage people, if they feel like they want to share any of the crafts that they've been making, please go ahead and either share it on my social media or share it to me privately on email. And I love having that kind of relationality where we actually get to know each other a little bit, even though I'm not there with you in person. To be able to share the experience with one another is really precious. So I do encourage people to contact me and just let me know how it's going. And if you have questions, you can always reach out. And if it's a question that I feel like we need to have more of an in-person conversation for, I will let you know. I have services that I offer with my fees that are on the Personalize It page. And I'm also very open in terms of, if I want to keep things accessible. So you'll see on this page, the programs page, if you scroll down, you will see a section where I say e-courses through trust payment. And that's important to me because there are communities for which I feel like I need to honor and offer a different payment structure too. I also recognize what it's like to be in need and to want to be able to participate in certain things for my own professional or personal development, but not necessarily have the accessibility financially, means that doors close. So to allow for a structure that's based on trust in terms of financial exchange is really important to me. And please feel free to reach out and just let me know. It's all set up, below the e-course. For those of you who have means and want to actually support other people, there's a pay it forward kind of an option, which is you pay more for the course than the suggested fee. And that money will be put aside to support those people who don't have the accessibility. That's really, again, an important way to be able to honor one another in terms of community support. So that gives you a little bit of the kind of the framework and also my philosophy in terms of presenting this work to you. And beyond that, I hope that people will consider the importance of developing their relationship with land, developing their relationship with the peoples of land and the ancestors that exist on land, and then to also carry forward their own relationships to their ancestors or to their cultural traditions, whatever's been they've been brought into in their lives, and to see that there's actually an important place where we need to allow those things to relate to one another, and to recognize that as people who live on different territories, we have responsibility to those lands and to the territories, whether or not you're on unceded or ceded and treaty land. You are either a treaty member or you are an occupier guest. And so it's really important to recognize your responsibilities and how we conduct ourselves within those territories. And I'm clearly speaking to people who are settler folk. So that's the main audience that I've designed the program for. Anybody can do the program. I'm more than happy to welcome that. And I'm mostly speaking as an audience to people who are who have ancestry who's not necessarily based within the lands that they find themselves in. There's a downloadable program outline if you just scroll down in the current section that you're in on my webpage. Download that program outline. It will give you more details about the course by course structure. There's our lovely woodpecker. And it also gives you a sort of a diagram that gives you an idea again of how the course flow is intended to be. It'll answer more questions, and then if you have more questions beyond that, beyond this video and beyond the program outline, again, please freely contact me. I'm really happy to field any questions. I hope this finds you well.